The next animal we'll meet is the water dragon. For people living along the east coast of Australia, this is probably the most familiar large lizard and found along all our waterways. In the wild, adult males will control a territory in which several females will live. Males are much bigger and more colourful than females. In particular, specimens from the Gippsland area take on an attractive blue tinge during the breeding season. Water dragons readily escape to water if they feel threatened. They are good swimmers and usually dive to the bottom where they can hold their breath for more than an hour until danger passes. Water dragons and turtles are natural cage mates. They have similar temperature and habitat requirements and will happily coexist in an outdoor or indoor enclosure. Water dragons even eat the same things as turtles, including insects, frogs, yabbies, fish and fruit. In captivity they will eat crickets, roaches, superworms, figs and dog food. They are also fond of the occasional wild mouse, if they're quick enough. In late spring, gravid females should be given a tub of damp sand in which to lay between 3 and 10 eggs. These should be removed and incubated at 30 degrees Celsius. After 70 days they will hatch and miniature replicas of the adults will begin to emerge. Baby water dragons are extremely alert right from the moment they first open their eyes, and it's amazing to see how they fit a large body and huge tail into such a small egg. Once out, hatchlings are voracious feeders and crickets are a favourite. Adults also relish superworms. While water dragons can make good pets, they will not tame to the extent that a bearded dragon will. However, with patience, they can be trained to take food from their owner's hand, which is quite a thrill. And given the right conditions, water dragons will live for over 20 years in captivity. The road test results for this episode produced the following scores. For the cold water turtle species, including eastern longneck, crefts and Murray River turtle, at about $80 to $100 for hatchlings, these are very affordable pets, so on price I gave them a score of 8. These three species are the most commonly kept pet turtles, so a score of 8 for availability. Maintenance. Turtles eat and do what comes afterwards in water, so keeping their water clean with a good filtration system is absolutely essential. Canister filters work well, but need regular cleaning. It also helps to remove any uneaten food by hand. As a general rule, the smaller the system, the more maintenance it requires, with indoor tanks needing weekly water changes and large outdoor setups being essentially self-cleaning. Until they are about 2 years old, babies should be given additional heating during winter. An aquarium heater works well, which should be set to about 24 degrees Celsius. A score of 3 for maintenance. Garaging. Hatchlings can be kept in a 3-foot fish tank with a floating dock and a basking light. Adults require more space with a minimum 6-foot fish tank or preferably outdoor pond. A score of 6 in this category. Fuel. Hatchlings require live food but can very quickly be weaned onto pellets and frozen food. Adults present few feeding problems. A score of 8. Being common and familiar turtles to many Australians, these East Coast species score a low of 3 on the wow factor scale, giving a total score of 36. For the dinner plate turtle or Steindachnerai, a warm water species, on price, at $500 each, this is one of the most expensive freshwater turtles available in Australia, a score of 5. Dinner plate turtles are still rare in the hobby, and you will most likely have to go onto a waiting list to acquire any babies, so on availability a score of 4. This species is one of the hardiest of all Australian turtles, and in the wild, specimens can survive underground for long periods, perhaps even years, without water. However, they do require heat and cannot be left to winter over in a pond if you live in one of the cooler parts of the country, such as Sydney or Melbourne. Filtration requirements are similar to other species. On maintenance, a score of 4. Garaging requirements, as for the cold water species, a score of 6. Fuel requirements, also similar to the cold water species, a score of 8. Dinner plate turtles are rare in captivity and just starting to become available in the hobby. They tame very easily and are likely to become a lot more popular in the future, so a wow factor score of 7, giving an overall score of 34. For the eastern water dragon, at between $30 and $60 each for hatchlings, this is a very affordable pet, so a score of 9 on price. Water dragons are commonly kept and easy to breed, so a score of 8 for availability. While water dragons can be kept in a cage, 3 foot for babies and 6 foot for adults, they are always much happier when kept outside. They are generally a nervous species. They don't tame very well and they never seem to enjoy being handled. However, in an outdoor enclosure with a pond, they really come into their own, and when paired with turtles, will add a special touch to your display. They are also very tolerant of cold and, like turtles, will go into brumation or hibernation for the coldest months of the year, which is quite convenient. A score of 4 on maintenance. If you choose to keep your water dragons indoors, make sure that your cage decorations are well secured, or these lizards will quickly rearrange your carefully planned display. A score of 5 for garaging. Water dragons are good feeders and will never refuse any moving prey. They can also become quite fond of dog food, which is convenient. A score of 6 for fuel. Water dragons are a common and very familiar lizard, so a wow factor score of 2 seems fair, giving a total score of 34. For reptile licensing requirements, contact your local National Parks office.
For care sheets on the animals road tested on today's show, make sure you visit Adrian's Reptile World on the web at reptiles.com.au, where you'll find lots of useful tips and information on the upkeep and well-being of your pets.